Hi everyone, my name is Kelsey McConnell and I did my comparison on the differences between Bollywood and Hollywood, or just the American music culture. So first off, I wanted to talk about the Bollywood music just a little bit to get a little background about that. So Bollywood music is used specifically to describe music from Bollywood musicals, which are musical films that are made in Bombay, and generally to describe all the popular film music that they do over in India. It is rare. The singing for those songs is rarely done by the actors, but it's by a relatively small number of singers, which I thought was a very interesting fact, and the actors just lip sync to that. So there have been several thousand songs that have been produced for Bollywood that have actually all just been a couple of singers, so that was very interesting. Bollywood songs are often featured in song and dance fantasies of Bollywood films. A lot of times it's actually the songs that make the movie instead of the movie that has songs inside of it. So that was very interesting. And the first Bollywood soundtrack was filmed in 1931. So a little history on American music is everyone pretty much knows all the different types of American music: classical, jazz, folk, pop, rock, anything like that. The first musicians anywhere in North America were actually Native Americans who consisted of hundreds of ethnic groups across the country, each with their own unique styles of that folk music. Folk music is any traditional music from about the 20th century folk revival. Some types of music is actually called world music, which is kind of cool, which is what this class is called. Of these cultures, many of them and their music traditions are now extinct, although some are relatively vibrant in a modern form, which is Hawaiian music. By the 16th century, large-scale immigration of English, French, Spanish settlers brought new kind of folk music with them. It was followed by the importation of African slaves, bringing their music along with them, and that's kind of why we have so many different types of music here that lots of different people enjoy. So yeah, to start the comparison off, Bollywood music is a variation of many different languages, from Hindu to Urdu, with some Persian, and there's actually some English in their songs as well, which I thought was very interesting. The majority of Bollywood songs are love songs, which I would say we don't have a majority of music in the United States. I mean, there would probably be some if you looked into all those studies, but there's lots of different types of music with lots of different subjects with that, so it's used specifically to describe music from Bollywood musicals, like I said, but a lot of people generalize it and consider Bollywood to be all Indian music. I know that's what I thought Bollywood was before I actually looked more into it for this project, so I thought that was pretty cool. The Bollywood music soundtrack industry is a $150 million business, which is very large compared to Hindi pop, so it accounts for 2/3 of the recording market compared to that 10%. Non-Bollywood recordings are actually known as private albums, and many films begin with a few of those catchy songs, and there's often more useful script to get funding to make that film. Record labels will pay up to $500,000 for the soundtracks to rights to a promising movie, so that's a lot of money for one song, plus you're going to have a couple of those songs in each movie, so it's going to get pricey. And Bollywood provides the music for many Hollywood films, which I thought was a very interesting little tidbit. So some stuff about American music culture is that it is a mix of many different styles. So like I was saying earlier, that classical, jazz, anything you like. My favorite's probably R&B or pop, I know, but I also am a sucker for country music. The rhythms are very asymmetrical and irregular, so you're never going to get the same. And it's mostly based on personal interpretation. So even if a song may talk about love, you may take it in a different way. So an example of that kind of is that a lot of artists actually denounce and condemn America's society to a greater extent and despise its capitalistic values. So how we're obsessed with consuming things, materialistic interests, and we're very unstoppable in our need for money and possessions. But then other artists will sing about their passion for patriotism of the country. I know Toby Keith does a lot of that music. So there are lots of examples of each. I know Green Day would be one example of the America's society and being obsessed with consumption examples. Music is a big part in a lot of people's lives, and it's a little bit different over with the Bollywood music. It's a little bit less important, more just for fun. I know personally music has always been a big part of my life. It always can get me in a better mood, no matter what I'm going through. And there's actually not a single majority, but a great deal of differentiating cultures in American music, which I think is a really awesome way to bring different cultures together and really just make the world very inclusive. So thank you for listening.